Well, guys, it is over. We are officially leaving Fort Myers. I've lived here for about just a little over a year, and it's over. Um, I know it's a crazy time for us to be moving because our YouTube channel is doing awesome, and I should be like working 14 hours a day getting you guys content, but unfortunately, time for new adventures. We are moving to Sarasota, Florida, and the hurricane kind of aggravated everything on a real serious level. Now, to be honest, we were moving before the hurricane, so the hurricane's not the sole reason we're leaving. It's not the hurricane. It's just another compounding factor to how inconvenient life in Fort Myers is, especially out here in the Lehigh Acres area. So the area that I lived in is somewhere between Lehigh, Buckingham, and Fort Myers, somewhere in the middle. Y'all already knew that because I've said it a lot. I'm nervous. I'm tired. Didn't sleep last night at all. Should really be focused on my YouTube channel because it's going like nuts. I've never had as much viewership on my channel ever. This hurricane has really brought our channel a lot of attention. But it's over. And then once I'm up there, I think I can move in one day. We're gonna try to pull it off today. Get a U-Haul and try to pull this off as quickly as possible. Now, what's been weird about living out here is just how incommunicated this place is. Like for example, I think that house sold for $430,000 or roughly like that much. Can you imagine paying $430,000 for a house that has... You can't get internet out here. That's worth a crap. I mean, literally, the best internet option that I found is a hotspot, which is like pretty historic internet. The internet out here sucks. You're on a septic tank and you're on well water. So imagine that. You're paying almost $500,000 for a house to be on well water, to be on a septic tank, and to have no internet. That's worth a crap. No internet signal. Living out here has just been extraordinarily frustrating as far as infrastructure. Right now, if Katie left, so we'll get me a Starbucks. Let's say I'm gonna start preparing and edit a video. Katie left to get me a Starbucks. There's times where it has taken her an hour and 30 minutes to leave here, go to the Starbucks, wait in line, come back with food. Hour and 30 minutes. This area is just incommunicated. It is impractical. The vast majority of the people are complete jerks. They live really busy lives. And they're kind of probably stretched. This dude's pretty cool. After living just a year here, I met him. So I'm glad that it took a year to get to know some of these neighbors. Some people here have been really cool. But it's just, I try not to engage with the neighbors, try not to meet the neighbors. Because just things seem to just go to crap when you get to know your neighbors. And I know that sounds ugly to say to a lot of people, especially within other parts of the country. But here in Florida, people are just jerks. That you're just better off not knowing your neighbors. As horrible as that sounds, I know I'm gonna get comments on this. But that's the type of place this is. As you can hear, there's a dump truck building a house on the street. Again, they're building houses non-stop. And you can already hear the dump truck lids slamming at 7 in the morning or whatever. That's just part of life here. Constant noise of construction. These dump truck drivers are jerks. I'll show you guys up ahead what one of them did recently. But I'll say, like, out of all the places I've lived ever, this has been the most decent place I've lived my whole life. Is it perfect? Not really. Really isn't perfect. But it's a world better than when I lived in Naples. Absolutely. Alabama by a long shot. This has been the best place I've ever lived. And it's not perfect, and no place is going to be perfect. But there's some things about this place that make living here a complete freaking nightmare. Number one of the reasons probably living here sucks is the contractors and dump truck drivers that are working building all these houses are some of the most arrogant piece of craps ever. You can see here that they do stuff like this for no reason, just to be jerks, just to say they were here. Because, as you can see, there's all this stretch of road where they could have just parked on the side of the road. There's no houses for like all this, no houses. But they decide that they want to park on the grass and go on the grass just to make the point that they can, because they're just, that's the type of jerks they are. So they're building a house over here again, and that's what happens here. They clear a lot, build a house, clear a lot, build a house. And when I moved onto the street, there's probably none of these. This house wasn't there. That obviously is new. But this hurricane has aggravated the situation. Right after the hurricane, Buckingham Road was flooded, and there was a giant tree that fell. And Sunshine was flooded. That means there was literally no way of getting out of this neighborhood unless you took 17 all the way to Joel or some other crap like that, and then drove all the way back. It means it took you an hour and 30 minutes to go 15 minutes. This place is impractical. And then, believe it or not, while generally it's safe and there isn't a lot of crime, and it is a suburban area, the youth in this place is absolutely wasted. I have never, and I grew up in the hood where we had neighborhood affiliations and all that, and I never in the hood saw so many kids that pretty much are throwing their entire life away on whatever they're hooked on. I mean, I'm talking, I see kids here that are 12, 16 years old, and they're already regular users. And if their parents don't see that, they must be users too, because it's pretty obvious that these kids at a very young age are already hooked on a lot of stuff. The parents give them an ATV, and their friends might buy them stuff. And at 12, 14 years old, these kids are complete users. And it just shocks me that at just a young age, people are involved with consumption. And I don't mean like, I mean probably like 30 or 40% of these kids in this neighborhood are like that. I mean, the parents just give them an ATV and let them stay out all night, and they're out and about driving ATVs on people's lawns and getting on all types of stuff, burning car tires. And the wild thing is that there's police presence all in this neighborhood. This neighborhood's full of cops. But apparently, if you're in the inner city, the same cops that will discriminate you in the inner city have a bunch of little kids out here burning dump truck tires and running ATVs at 2 in the morning on all types of stuff. But in their own neighborhood, they don't really care because they don't want to get involved. They don't want to have problems with their neighbors, so they look the other way here in the neighborhood where they live. But the same people, what a mess. It's just a complete mess. Our YouTube channel has really grown here in Fort Myers. I mean, like, when I first moved down here, it was scary. Like, I literally ran up $120,000. I went from $120,000 to zero, trying to figure out what the crap we're gonna do with our lives out here. Because this place, like, you know, I started the junk removal business. The phone would literally not ring at all. Nobody, there's no, oh, the phone rang, here's the customer. This place is just, if you can make it here in Lehigh Acres, you can make it anywhere. I mean, I see people that commute all the way to Marco Island from here, an hour and 40 minutes. I tried commuting in Naples, and my gas bill on the truck was something like a full income practically. I was like, this is impractical. So if you can make it here in Lehigh Acres, you can just about make it anywhere in America. But yes, we're moving out of Fort Myers. Hopefully today will be my last day here, and we'll start a new life in Sarasota, where the Starbucks is literally walking distance. The Publix is walking distance. Nice, beautiful community. It's a very nice area. And very different than where I'm at now. Out here, it's dump trucks and F-350s. Over there, it's Maseratis and electric vehicles. So it's a completely different crowd. I've lived in rich areas in Naples as well. So it won't be my first time being around this type of person. But it will be the first time living in a really, really high-end community. So, like, I never dreamed that I would ever live in a place this nice. And we're doing it. But today, we got to find a U-Haul and get our few belongings that we have left all the way up to Sarasota and start a new chapter of our lives. Fort Myers is going to take a long time to recover. And we're going to have to work down here a lot. We're going to have to keep commuting down here for a little bit. It's an 86-mile commute just to Fort Myers. Because the videos that are really popping off now is the hurricane stuff. So we're still going to have to be running down here a lot. But that's it. I'm going to be living in Sarasota with Katie in a beautiful community. It's taken a lot of effort and dedication to get us here. And overall, this is probably the best place I've lived so far. But we need our own place that's comfortable, and we just need better infrastructure. You know, I need to wake up in the morning and the Starbucks needs to be like right there. The Publix needs to be right there. Everything that I need needs to be right up. When you leave this neighborhood, it takes 35-40 minutes to get somewhere, especially the morning commute traffic. So that's it. We're done with Fort Myers, and Sarasota awaits us. I am so excited to be done. And like I said, Fort Myers is likely going to take us months, if not a year at least, to recover. And I'm not going to be part. This is too chaotic. This is too much. Businesses aren't going to be open the way they're supposed to. Traffic is going to be chaotic. This is going to be a madhouse for the next year, and I don't want to be part of it. So goodbye, Fort Myers, and hello, Sarasota.